is gone.
The sight of watching the ball go over the wall and the taste of peanuts and Cracker Jacks. There's nothing like it.
Alabama.
It's America's
97.7
time. From the first
ESPN,
pitch to the
Zone.
final out, you can hear every game right here on your home for Alabama baseball.
Your home of the Alabama Crimson Tide is 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Where's the best place for sports? What about the best place for wings? If you answered Jefferson's for both, you're right. Jefferson's is also a great place for value. Every Monday, kids eat free with the purchase of an adult meal, and teachers bring your teacher ID, and you eat free every first Tuesday of the month up to $15. At Newmarket, Jefferson's will be opening a new location at 2190 County Road 65 very soon. Jefferson's, best place for sports, best place for wings. Hampton Cove, and soon in Newmarket. SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
Would you call a plumber for a root canal? The same goes for selling your timberland or farm. Choose someone who understands your property and can help you on the front end so you can capitalize on the back end. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction. As a guide, I have put many hunters in position to take a shot. It's time for you to take your shot. Let's talk about putting you in position to sell your property. Call me at 256-609-0512. Remember, Bo knows land.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
A wise man once said, if you take care of old folks and children, everything in the middle will take care of itself.
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. In the next 20 years, the number of those folks over 65 years of age will more than double. In our golden years, the most important goal is to be treated with dignity and have control over doing what makes you grateful with those you love. At the Aldridge Law Firm and the Legal Town Center, we're dedicated to help you with these goals, and we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188 or online with Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Just remember, we're here to help. Whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete, we're here to help.
I'm Abraham here for Valley Equipment Rental. You know, if you're a contractor installing fences, you need Valley Equipment Rental for augers of all sizes. And if you need a forklift to get those shingles up high on a roof, Valley Equipment has 10K lifts that reach to 56 feet. Valley also has tow-behind lifts that have a working height of 35 to 55 feet as well for power washing those 2-story homes or doing whatever else you need to do. Lifts, forklifts, tow-behind lifts, 35 feet and up. They have your lift at Valley Equipment Rental. 2 locations, North and South Parkway. Valley Equipment Rental.
Never miss 1 second of Charger baseball with the Charger Zone.
And he is just absolutely parked one. I don't believe the left fielder or the center fielder for AUM even moved.
Only on 97.7 ESPN.com and the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app. WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone. This hour is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore. Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll. And I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
No better way to start a week than here at Full Moon Barbecue. I mean, come on now. Swing on by here. We're here for 45 minutes. There is no Hey Coach tonight, as Hey Coach got bumped for Alabama softball. You heard a little bit of that last night. Game 2 of that series is Alabama down Oklahoma 6-0. That's your 4-time defending champ, the Oklahoma Sooners. And now look for the series win. We'll have coverage beginning at 5:45. But come on over here to Full Moon Barbecue, and there is plenty on the plate here at Full Moon Barbecue. And if you'd like to get $50 for just $25, head over our website, 977 ESPN. Click on the upper left-hand banner of savings. Never tasted so good. And then simple as that, get $50 for just $25 here for Full Moon Barbecue.
Get the deodorant.
And
get the deodorant. Trust me.
So
I introduced my wife to the deodorant Friday night. I got takeout from Full Moon. We have another convert. It is Texas toast grilled cheese.
That's
with
right.
pulled pork in the middle and a little of their sauce.
Right.
It's the stuff dreams are made of.
It's
My wife's let me live in the house for another year.
and just ask for the dearmond, and they'll know exactly what you're talking about. So simple as that. Boy, there is a lot to get into in a short amount of time here tonight. I guess let's start with Nico. I mean, this is a story that you knew it was going to happen somewhere, didn't just know where.
Well, it's kind of already happened once at Florida. And
Yeah,
now,
that's
and now
right.
and now the guy's kind of suing them.
Yeah, that's right.
But it's going to be interesting how
That
that.
Rashado's.
Yeah, it's going to be
young
interesting to
man's
see
name.
how that turns out as well. But yeah, Tennesse'd had enough. He had wanted to double his salary, and now where's he going to go? That's going to be the question, because you can't go to SEC school.
That's right. You can't hop in the spring.
So
SEC to
yeah,
SEC.
so it has to be a Big Ten school. You would think, or really the Big Ten.
Yeah,
that's going to pay him anything like that. I guess the rumor is Texas Tech was paying their.
I heard the word Tulane come out of somebody's mouth earlier today.
They're not going to get that. Yeah.
I mean, it'd be great for Tulane.
Yeah.
It'd be great for John Summerall, but I don't know if that'd be great for Nico.
Yeah, they were upset that they didn't spend more money on some offensive linemen. You read all that out?
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah.
the way too much. Sometimes, there's a paddle for every ass. That's all I'll say. And Nico found his. Because I don't think he'll make $2 million. I mean, that's just
It's hard to disagree. At this point in the game, I mean,
you're 16. There's only 32 teams, maybe 40 teams that can pay him. And so he's already maybe. And so nobody's going to pay him $4 million.
No.
And there's no, and he doesn't deserve it. I don't know if you can win the national championship with him or not. Not with a great support cast.
I did ask our good friend Tony Basilio whether or not there's any chance he can. Technically, the portal's not even open yet, but I did ask whether or not if there was any sliver in opportunity that he'd jump back to Tennessee, and all I got was no.
No, I mean, they, of course they're going to say no, but I've seen so much happen.
You think there's a chance?
Well, yeah, there's always a chance. I mean, yeah.
That'd be nutty.
I don't know.
I mean, kids always make, it just.
Well, the problem is kids aren't making these decisions. That's been proven time and time again. There's other people that need, the agents, I don't know what his agents, but it's awful suspicious that the agent is so involved in this. And they've been trying to renegotiate, and Tennessee really doesn't have it's not like they made the playoffs, yes.
Yes, they did.
But it wasn't because of Nico, and in my opinion, it's because of good defense. And
Sampson was pretty elite, and you could definitely tell when he got hurt that was a different football team.
There's no question.
Without Dylan Sampson.
Right, and Nico did not have a very good game against Iowa State.
No.
Neither did the offensive line, for that matter. But nonetheless, I don't see how he's worth $4 million. And some people didn't pay $4 million for every player, much less one player.
Also, this quote today from Ryan Grubb is finding a little bit of legs as well, I mean, I'm just trying to run through some highlights here
Right.
before we get to our first break. Grant Boone is going to join us after our first time out, talking a little Masters as that thing needed one extra hole. But Ryan Grubb, the Alabama offensive coordinator, had this to say earlier today.
At the end of the day, if we're playing a football game tomorrow, Ty Simpson would start, and he earned that. Okay, and I know that's the line everybody's looking for, but that is what he earned. Austin Mack made huge strides. Also, available reps were the same, and he did a really good job. He came out and developed. Just was some of the nuances and take care of the football and things like that. Thought Ty showed out a little bit better. And then, honestly, Keelan exceeded my expectations. I think for a young man his age, he never gave into that opportunity. We challenged him with that. Don't give into I'm a freshman and this and that. And he didn't. He reminds me, I mean, I say this all the time to him, and I mean it as the biggest compliment. He reminds me so much of Michael Penix, just in his demeanor. He has such a calm demeanor. Sometimes, you need to find the other edge of that and put a little bit of rush on it. But he did a great job, and he had a couple days at the end that, he wished he'd played a little bit better. But, man, I thought he made huge strides. Those guys all, Nick did a great job of managing the number of reps for guys, trying to keep the opportunity very equal. And by no means does that mean that we're playing a game tomorrow, and I think there's still a lot of work to be done. I think the message really is that, we got to be even better. And the guys, I know that they'll take that the right way and they understand those things, but essentially, we're not going to be satisfied with the quarterback room until it's how it's supposed to be. And it wasn't perfect this spring, but I thought we were trending the right way the entire time. And so the competitive spirit and the acknowledgement of each other as a competitor in that room was very mature, honestly, and it could have been very different than that. So I'm blessed to work with those guys every day. I'm fired up. We got 3 really, really good quarterbacks.
I agree with that. That's for sure.
That's the full quote. You're probably not going to get the full quote at too many other places.
Well, I mean, I don't know what the big deal. I mean, what who's making a big deal of what he said?
The starting quarterback.
Well, no, hell, I could have told you who the starting quarterback was going to be. That's who cares what he said? I mean, whoever's making a big deal about that doesn't have much of a life. So, that basically, he said what I could have told you in a nutshell. That they got 3 really good quarterbacks. One of them needs to be developed. The other 2 are in the process of being developed. And Ty Simpson is the best quarterback, and I don't think there's any question. There's no question from anybody about that. 0.
Well, one of the bigger storylines from over the weekend was the 89th Masters. We'll dive into that next with Grant Boone from the Golf Channel. It was a pretty cool ending. We'll talk to Grant about it coming up next here on The Drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Ford Motor Company. From America, for America. Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford with a real quick quiz. Out of all the manufacturers, do you know which auto company employs the most hourly workers in America? Ford. Do you know which company assembles the most vehicles in this country? Ford. That's not just a coincidence. It's a commitment. A 120-year-old commitment to build in America for America. And during this unprecedented moment in automotive history, you stand to benefit big time. Woody Anderson Ford is now offering employee pricing. You pay what we pay. We've got over 190 F-150s for you to choose from with generous finance rates and the best deals of the year on America's best-selling truck for 48 years in a row. Employee pricing can save you thousands off MSRP, and with over 600 Fords for you to choose from, there's a good chance you'll find just exactly what you're looking for. This offer ends May 31st, so hurry in. Woody Anderson Ford.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
It's an amazing time in our industry. Things are changing so rapidly. With digital signatures and workflow software, we help our customers work from anywhere. This helps you save time and money and upgrade your technology. Like I said, it's an amazing time to watch our customers grow and succeed.
I'm here with Stan McDonald of Jacob Title. Stan, I've heard that every real estate closing at Jacob Title is a very big deal. Why is that?
Wes, I'm reminded of a very impactful statement that I heard from Coach Gene Stallings years ago when he talked about big games and little games. He said he didn't like that comparison. He says, because try losing one of those little games. And if you ever do, it ends up being the biggest game all year long. Well, it's the same thing with real estate closings. Every game, every closing is a very big deal at Jacob Title. Because when it's your closing and your contract on the line, it's a very big deal. And we understand that at Jacob Title.
So it sounds like whether your client is a first-time residential buyer or a multi-million-dollar investor, they can expect your A game.
That's exactly right. As a matter of fact, when you bring your real estate closing to us at Jacob Title, we understand it's all about trust and confidence. And when Stan McDonald tells you that a chicken dips snuff, you can look under his wing for the box.
And like Beams likes to say, there's no doubt about it.
Since 1986, Full Moon Barbecue has been cooking quality meats low and slow over a hickory wood-fired pit. From ribs and wings, brisket, turkey, catfish, and sausage to the best butts in town. If you're planning a holiday or a birthday party, Full Moon has a large banquet room. And Full Moon is ready for your next catering or tailgate. Just call us and we'll take care of everything. 256-713-0070. Full Moon Barbecue on the Parkway next to Costco. The best little pork house in Alabama.
This segment of The Drive is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, located online at WoodyAndersonFord.com with 2 locations, Hughes Road in Madison and Jordan Lane in Huntsville.
Back here at Full Moon Barbecue, along with Wes Neighbors, Steve Moulton back here with you. And don't forget, coming up on Monday is our Charity Golf Classic out at Cherokee Ridge, and we're almost getting final call for your foursomes out there. Just give us an email at 977wzznevents@gmail.com. This is all to benefit the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Always a good time out there, and that comes up on Monday. And I have no doubt of our next guest. It might be available next Monday. Something tells me Grant Boone might be willing to come on out to our charity golf tournament. How are you, sir?
Well, just all you have to do is ask. If you come out and do a little play-by-play for all the guys that come through. You're playing at Augusta National, right?
Of course. Well, I mean, it's our area's Augusta National.
I think they're free that week. I know there's no tournament to that. So yeah, just let me know. The microphone is always open.
Grant, I always appreciate the time, sir. And boy, what a special ending. And tell me your thoughts on this year's Masters, sir.
The best I can sum it up would be what I tweeted last night, which is he had it, he lost it, he had it, he lost it, he had it, he lost it, he got it. I mean, he literally 3 times had the tournament in his grasp, 3 times lost it, and when it was all said and done, it was him with the green jacket. And I do think that there is a way in which, and of course it's easy to say now because he did it, and he probably would have preferred to have shot a bogey-free 66, and never had to sweat it out. But there's something about being taken to the brink and looking over the edge and realizing how close you are to falling, and then finding, a way to get it done that I think makes it sweeter. Again, I'm a big Tennessee football fan, and which may get me cut off here, but no,
y'all are doing good.
Which made me a huge Peyton Manning fan, and then when the Colts finally won the Super Bowl, it was a bit of a dud of a game. It wasn't super exciting. They beat the Bears and it was 26-12 or whatever, 26-40. It was not like an exhilarating, electrifying, down to the wire game. And I'm sure Peyton Manning couldn't have possibly cared less because he finally got to the mountaintop. But I do think there's something about that for Rory, the ability to rise to the occasion after all of the self-inflicted wounds. And you can say, yeah, the golf course is hard, and it is. But there's never been anybody make 4 double bogeys in one tournament and win the Masters. I mean, that's a ton of doubles. He got to 4 under on Thursday, fell back to even, got it back to 6 under, then shot another 6 under. He was, 5 under after 5 on Saturday? Never before happened. So I do think there's something about rallying that makes it even sweeter. It would have been sweet no matter what, but there maybe just that much sweeter.
Well, that, and also, I mean, hello, Justin Rose as well. Boy, that was awfully fun to watch from that perspective, Grant.
It was, and we, Mark Emmelman and I had the call at Amen Corner for the Masters app and CBSSports.com and DirecTV. There are like 10 different ways you can watch it, which is so cool. And so all we had were those 3 holes. And Justin gets to the, he gets to the 11th hole, and, he's 5 back, something like that. And Rory's about to play the 10th. And, we talk about, the math still works for Justin.
Yeah.
But he's going to need to start making birdies, and maybe even better on a couple of these. And so, for now, the math still works. And sure enough, he rolls into 40-footer at 11. The math working in terms of being able to still win. And then Rory birdies 10 right behind him. And so then Justin birdies 12. It's a great tee shot on a hole where you can make $1 million, and we've seen it. But he makes birdie. And then he goes to 13, hits 2 great shots, and hits a putt for eagle that I still don't know how it didn't go in. It, just hung on the edge. Even then, he's back in it. He's at least within, 3. Then Rory bogeys 11. And so anyway, yeah, Justin, even with the bogey at 14, Justin comes back with birdies at 15 and 16, and then he birdies that 18th, and he posts 11 under. And still, you're thinking, nice week, really good week, but it's Rory's tournament. And then Rory gets to 13, he lays up. He's like, okay, he's really disciplined, leading it by, 3, and hits maybe the worst shot of his career. I mean, just a shot that he's going to probably make more often than he's going to hit in the water. Like, it's not that hard of a shot for a guy of his ability. If he dumps it in the water, makes double, and then rows up ahead, makes birdie at 16, and all of a sudden we're tied, and you're thinking, wait. So we sign off the air on our channel at Amen Corner, and we push everybody to the CBS broadcast where most people already were, but we sign off with Rory tied at 11 under. And then I'm heading to the airport, watching it, listening, plugged into the broadcast in my car as I'm driving, listening to the broadcast, and getting to a stoplight and looking down and checking to see what's happening. And in the airport, I'm surrounded, there are 200 people surrounding the TV in the bar as Rory's playing the 18th. And my feed on my phone is a little bit ahead of the CBS broadcast on the TV in the bar. And we see Rory dump it in the bunker at 18. And I'm like, and everyone looks over at me like, uh-oh, what happened? Like, and 5 seconds later, it shows up on the TV, misses the putt for par. Off we go to the playoff, and it ended right before I got on my flight to go back. And it was magical. I don't know. What did you all sense about people wanting Rory to win? Like, what was the percentage that you, like, just let's say from your listeners as you've talked and just your friends as you talk to friends, like how heavily was the rooting for Rory versus everybody else?
Well, I think everybody was rooting for him, but I
had a handful rooting against him.
Yeah, I don't know. I think most people I knew were.
It is a Ryder Cup year.
Yeah, Bryson DeChambeau. I think if Bryson would have been closer at the end, that you'd have been about 50-50. But since he wasn't, and it was between him with a guy from South Africa, I mean, I think everybody wanted to see him get his green. Everybody thinks he deserves it. I mean, I felt
he's gone through it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not like a guy hadn't been successful. He just just that golf course is, if your mind wanders at all, it can be over really quick.
Oh my gosh! I mean, how many tournaments have we seen through the years? It looked like somebody had it and then they lost it. Think of for all the great players who've won the Masters, you can make an incredible list of guys who didn't. So there's that too, so you say, well, is Rory going to be one of those guys who goes down in history? If I say Ernie Els, you're going to say he's one of the best players of his generation, never won a Masters. Lee Trevino, one of the best players ever, never won a Masters. Tom Weiskopf, maybe the best swing of all time, never won a Masters. Johnny Miller, the guy won 8 tournaments a year for like 5 straight years, never won a Masters. So, great players don't always win the Masters, and I think we wondered, is Rory going to be one of those guys? And it is interesting, isn't it? I mean, he's a guy from Northern Ireland, and yet
his accent's gone. He has a little bit of accent. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, he's lived in the U.S. for half his life. He's 35. Yeah. He lived in America, lived in Florida for most of his life. He was 21 when he first had this big bushy mop of brown hair and got to the Masters, and he was practically a kid himself, and he blew the lead. And then 14 years later, he's got the gray. He's got a kid himself and his wife, and everything's just different. And I don't know. I mean, I'm a sucker for a great story more than anything, more than even an individual. I just love stories. So I think there's a humanity that you see the humanity more in a guy who's gone through the difficult times. Like when Tiger was just blowing through golf in the late 90s, early 2000s, you were in awe, but I'm not sure you loved him. You wanted to see him so many people wanted to see him succeed. There was an awe, but there wasn't a love as much because he hardly seemed human. So when he won in 2019, even people who weren't Tiger fans originally were like, you know what, the guy's been through it. He thought he was dead a couple times, and here he is coming back on one leg somehow, and he won the Masters at that age. So I think when you get a little bit of that humanity added, I think Rory had it. I think it fills out the story in a cool way. But that's me.
It was, some of the shots he hit were incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, the one that he hooked in the end of the and then lands 4 feet, actually hit a leaf or something, and then lands 4 feet. I mean that was just an incredible shot. Watching that, I've watched it 3 or 4 times. It's I don't know how he did it.
Oh, you can watch it on a loop and never get sick of it. I mean, think of the variance, think of the highs and lows that he experienced. So you've got that shot at 15, which he had to hook around a tree, and then compare that with the wedge that he dumped into the water, the easiest shot he'll ever have. He dumps it in the water. Then how about the one he hits at 17? He hit that to 2 or 3 feet. But then he dumps it in the bunker at 18.
His question that got asked that nobody answered to my knowledge was, had anybody ever won the Masters with 4 double bogeys?
Never before. First time.
There you go.
So
I mean, you think that's 8 strokes, right?
He spots the field 8 strokes. So he becomes the first guy to do 2 things, and I think this sums up the week. First guy in Masters history to begin his round, any round, with 6 straight threes. On Saturday, he made birdie, eagle, birdie, par, birdie, par. And so 6 straight threes. No one had ever done it. But he's also the first to ever have 4 double bogeys and win. And, doesn't that tell you the roller coaster he took us all on, you know?
Yeah, but, he was by far, in my opinion, he was the best player. I mean,
I don't think there's any question.
He had about 5 shots that looked like he just putting where he was feeling the pressure. But
I agree.
The thing about Augusta,
too, by the way, I think Bryson, to his credit, clearly was not hitting the ball the way he normally does. His irons were really poor. He tugged one in the water at 11, which kind of ended his chances. The fact that he got into the final group on Sunday without really having control of his swing, I think it's a testament to how freakishly talented Bryson is. So I agree with you 100%. Rory was playing the best of anybody.
Yeah. From 10 for the last 8 holes, Bryson looked like me. He didn't.
Well,
he was hitting into the water. He was hitting
lately. So, so I'll take your word for it. Bryson, I don't know if you noticed, he's been working out.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, Bryson, he's.
I'm talking about his swing.
I know. Yeah.
I mean, he was everywhere.
Grant, isn't it?
Yeah.
I know. And we said this on the broadcast that no place will expose a flaw like Sunday at the Masters. If you are struggling with your iron game, good luck on Sunday at the Masters. If you're struggling putting, good luck, on Sunday at the Masters. You can get away with it maybe on a Thursday, Friday, maybe even on a Saturday. Yeah. Can't really fake it around Augusta National on Sunday. And Bryson got away with it for 3 days, but not the 4th.
Not sure you want to claim that you know this gentleman, but I was texting back and forth with some guy named Brian Katrick on yesterday evening, and all I simply said during the playoff was that was awesome. BK texted me back, who won, and I said golf.
Yeah, it was a great night. It was, and the way that embrace afterwards.
Yeah,
Justin gets it. Justin's a class dude. He's won, U.S. Open. He knows what it's like to feel both emotions. So, and he and Rory go back many moons. So it was a great night. And I'll say this: I can't remember a time in my lifetime. Now I know that the PGA Tour split away from the PGA of America in the late '60s when the PGA Tour was created.
Yeah.
I can't remember a time when the men's game was so fractured, when there have been so many casualties among fans because these tours are vying for world supremacy, and the fans are left kind of in, as the casualties of this battle for supremacy. And what I said was, the Masters, better than anybody, just kind of understands the only real power struggle a golf fan wants to see is 2 heavyweights going toe to toe on a Sunday with something significant on the line, and that's what we wanted. Think how, I don't know about you all, I've got so many friends who love golf who are sick of where the game is right now, the professional game. Because the tours can't get their act together. You got, 5 or 6 big names over on the Live Tour. The other tournaments, sometimes the best names will show up, sometimes they won't. And it just feels like week to week, who's playing, who are these guys? Why can't we get John Rahm and Bryson and Brooks playing with Jordan and Scotty and Rory and guys like that again? And I think this week gave that to us again, didn't it? It gave us the best players. Bryson, I mean, you don't have to like Bryson, but you can't not look at him. You can't not watch. He's his own YouTube channel, literally. He just makes you look, and he did on Sunday, and the guy hung in there even if he had nothing, and he still birdied 16 to get to 8 under, like slimmest of chances. And anyway, it was a reminder of what the men's game can be. And I cover the LPGA a lot. I'm going out tomorrow to LA for a big tournament. And the LPGA is in a better place. LPGA has the best players playing together almost every single week. Mm-hmm. Men's game's got to get it together, and they just haven't. But they had it together last week, and it delivered. The Masters is undefeated. It always is.
Yeah. Finally, Grant, I noticed you took some selfies inside Butler Cabin. Describe what Butler Cabin looks like from someone who's never been inside Butler Cabin.
It looks a lot like it does on TV, but then when you widen the lens, you see all of the camera equipment. CBS has a massive investment, to make that place look the way it does. And so what you see is the one wall. Picture Bobby Jones above the fireplace, above the hearth. And then the other 3 walls have just the technology. They'll have desks where Jim and Trevor sometimes will do some of their play-by-play, and then they'll have, other production support people in there providing the latest research and stats. And then, they've got literally hair and makeup there in one room. And so it's the coolest place. It really is. I got to be there. My son got to come again this year. He's 26, Nick, and he loves the game. And so for at least 1 week, Dad is kind of cool. No, seriously, he's awesome. Dear, and to be able to celebrate that with him, it just takes it, to 11.
I bet. I mean, yeah, I bet. And good swag
Next
too.
time
I didn't.
There, hit me up, and I'll see if I can get you in the Butler Cabin.
Man,
I know the code. I'm just kidding. I don't know the code. Yeah.
Oh goodness, you're the best. Always appreciate the time, sir. And hey, tell me about one side note on this year for Abilene Christian. What was the season like there this year on the basketball side of things for you?
Men's basketball had a big late season win streak to get us, ahead of steam going to the conference tournament, and it was great. We had we had some good wins. We went down there to Kennesaw State, played a great game down there. The Kennesaw State was good this year. We got to play Baylor, got to play, some big time teams, and it was fun. So Abilene, we went to we had a chance to go to the CIT and turned it down, but good fun. I love doing football and basketball when I'm not doing golf.
One of the all-time calls is the NCAA March Madness of David Downing Goliath. I mean, just felt
Goliath. We beat Texas.
And that just felt so natural here, and knowing you over the years. That was such a great call, and that you still get asked about that call?
Oh, all the time, and it's still my favorite moment. Broadcasting, whatever. I've been fortunate to call some great events through the years, but to be able to do, call my alma mater, who had been so terrible for so many years, we get better and better and better. Then we play Texas in the NCAA tournament. We knock off Texas, and Goliath falls, and ASU had the stones. We made 2 free throws with 1 second to go. So my voice had a little higher volume than it did this weekend at Amen Corner. I got a little more animated.
Yes, you did.
than I did for Nicholas Echeverria putting for par. So yeah, little more volume.
Oh goodness, Grant, you're the best, brother. Appreciate the time.
Anytime, gang. Be well.
Likewise, safe travels to you, sir. That is Grant Boone from the Golf Channel. As he usually patrols Amen Corner there on the .com, as well as I had it on the DirecTV channel over the weekend as well, and it delivered. And here's what it sounded like on Masters Radio. If I imagine Grant was probably listening to Mike Tirico as well.
Does nothing else. But he's about to enter one of the most special places in the game as a winner of all 4 Grand Slam events. 3 feet. Walks up to the ball. Gets over it. For history. One look. Rory back and through.
He's done it. It's a Grand Slam roar at Augusta National. Rory McIlroy on his knees, bent down in emotion, clutching his head.
That is Mike Tirico on the call there on Masters Radio. So let's see what kind of momentum the game of golf can get after a weekend like that. In terms of storylines, it didn't get any better than that. But I do wonder whether or not we're going to see some more. The way Grant put it was fantastic. That the best of the best need to be playing week in and week out and not fractured. So we'll see what happens in that regard. Winding down here on Monday, here live from Full Moon Barbecue. I didn't get a chance to play what Josh Heupel had to say. This was right after the orange and white game from over the weekend and his opening remarks to the media.
I'm sure I'm going to get asked about this here in a second, so I'll address it on the front end. Today's landscape of college football is different than what it has been. It's unfortunate, just the situation and where we're at with Nico. I want to thank him for everything that he's done since he's gotten here. That's as a recruit to who he was as a player and how he competed inside of the building. And so a great appreciation for that side of it. Obviously, we're moving forward as a program without him. I said it to the guys today. There's no one that's bigger than the Power T, and that includes me. And they hear me say that a lot inside of that team room. This program has been around for a long time. There's a lot of great coaches, a lot of great players that came before that laid the cornerstone pieces, the legacy, the tradition that is Tennessee football. It's going to be around a long time after I'm done and after they're gone. And that's what's special about being here is that there is a legacy and a tradition that is so rich and a logo that's recognized not just across the nation but across the world too. And today you got a chance to see 110 guys that ran out and competed their butts off, that give their all for Tennessee and do it the right way. And really proud of the spring that they've had, but also, how they culminated it as well. So
that is a little bit of Josh Heupel there in his opening remarks there as the portal officially cranks up here on Wednesday, but there is multiple reports of that portal is going to be full right out of the gate of this name going in, that name going in. But just keep in mind, SEC fans, SEC, you cannot hop SEC to SEC during the spring portal period. So keep that in mind. There's something that the Southeastern Conference is trying to encourage other conferences to do. So maybe the spring will not be as hectic potentially.
Well, they're all trying to get that last paycheck and get that last raise, thinking that but I don't think it's going to be that active because they can only go somewhere. Right. Well, where are they going to go where somebody's going to pay them? They're not going to go so many places.
We'll talk to you tomorrow. Alabama softball's next.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great